Hey yo, what's up? Oh, I have nothing. So, I'm popping in. I'm popping into a couple different places, I believe. So, I want to talk to the people on today. No one telling her who to be. All right. So, if you've been following your girl for a little bit, you know that this week I did a masterclass. Built for More was the masterclass. Built for More, and if I do say so myself, it was quite the amazing endeavor. Okay, all right. So I'm sharing two different things, but anyway, it was quite the amazing endeavor, and I'm judging that by the response that I've gotten from the folks who were participants, and all of that. So with that being said, I want to say hey to y'all. Hey, if you're coming in, say hi to me. I'm trying to see comments and things, and I'm running out of that. And so I'm going to try not to be distracted by that because I want to share something with you all. I want to share something with you all real quick. So day one of the masterclass, right? I used the acronym Built for More. Built for More. Built for More. Built was the acronym that I used that I taught from the 3 days of the masterclass. More was a bonus. So Built for More. More stood for making ordinary radically extraordinary. Making ordinary radically extraordinary. And what I based that upon was the fact that most of us tend to minimize our gifts. We see them as too ordinary, as too not that big of a deal, as the thing that we do that's easy for us to do, that is of no value to anybody else, mostly because it comes so easily to us, right? Because it comes so easily to us, it feels like ordinary. It feels like ordinary. It feels like not a big deal. But what if I were to tell you that thing that you minimized, the thing that you thought was no big deal, was the thing that was the reason that you were brought here, your purpose for being, the gift that you were supposed to bring and share with this world? What if the only thing that's required to make that ordinary is you being radically committed to the little extra that allows you to show up in your purpose? So on day one, right? Day one, Built for More. The B stood for be you. Be you. Be you unapologetically. If you've been following me, you know your girl had shirts made. I had this catchphrase that said, "My dopeness doesn't require your approval. My dopeness doesn't require your approval." And so the thing that I knew about that, and my dopeness not requiring anybody else's approval, I wasn't saying that it was the dopeness that I created for myself. I was saying it was the dopeness that was inherent in me, the dopeness that was the gift, the dopeness that I was born with, right? My gift. It doesn't require your approval. It doesn't even require my approval. And what's funny or interesting is that I tend to work with a lot of people who minimize themselves, who don't feel qualified to do that thing that God has called them to do, who are hiding behind a facade, hiding behind a shell of who it is they truly are, right? They're hiding behind that. And if you guys are sharing any comments, I can't see them, but I will respond later, right? I will respond later. But they're hiding. They're hiding. They're afraid to be their true selves. And so what's interesting is 2 years ago today, you know, my memories, they tend to recycle cyclically around the same time, around the same topic. But 2 years ago today, I had what I call my Facebook interloper experience. It was my inbox. Somebody hit me in my inbox and she made some comments about how she thought that I might be jeopardizing my brand by being too real. She literally came into my inbox. This is somebody that was a coworker that I worked with maybe 10, 12 years ago. And we've been Facebook friends, but we've never had a Facebook interaction. I forgot that we were friends, but she came into my inbox to tell me that I needed to be careful being myself because I might lose people's respect. How does that sound to you all? How does it sound to you to have the thought of someone saying to you, you have to be careful being to you because it may make people lose respect for you. Let's just say I didn't take it too kindly. I didn't take it too kindly because the reality is I worked really hard to create a life where I can be true to myself and true to my gifts and true to who it is that God created me to be, right? God created me as a mess and a masterpiece. Ephesians 2:10, we are his masterpiece. He created me in that way. And I worked really hard, right? It's a journey of accepting all of those parts of ourselves. Accepting those parts of ourselves. And I thought about the audacity that it took to come into my inbox when basically my brand is built on vulnerability and transparency and being me, right? I talked to you guys. I told you what happened the time that I tried not to be me. When I tried not to be me, it muted me. It kept me quiet, like I didn't use my voice. And so for me, I had to fight really hard to use my voice and to have someone who opinion did not matter to me one bit. But I wonder how often us, me, you, them, allow the opinions of people who don't matter to sway who it is we are and how we show up. So I created a whole post about it because I thought it was really interesting and I thought it might be a teachable moment for other people to, one, say to other folks, other people's brand is none of your business. Who they are. We all have a season of connecting who we want to be, who we are to who we want to be. And if we allow space and grace in the middle of that, in that growth with each other, that can be a very powerful thing. The other thing was we have to be really careful about whose opinions we allow to sway us. Who opinions we allow to sway us. And so when you talk about being you, what I found is it's not as easy as we conceptualize it, right? It's not as easy as we say, like, oh, just be you. Particularly if we're working in environments that encourage us to be lesser versions of ourselves, right? As a Black woman in America, there are a lot of environments that I go into, right, that we go into that encourage us to be lesser versions of ourselves. For we would hate to be thought of as too loud, too aggressive, too sister girly, right? And so there are times that we have to engage in what's referred to as code switching, right? We all have to do some form of code switching, but when you are a Black woman in America, you code switch a lot. Code switch a lot, particularly when you're working in corporate entities. And the reality is that it's exhausting to wear that facade, right? To wear that mask, to keep that cover on. It's exhausting, is it not? So I'm wondering, right? I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you to imagine what your life might be like if you could show up truly, transparently, unapologetically as yourself. What would that look like for you? What would that change in regards to how you show up now? In what ways are you dulling your life, your light, so that it doesn't blind other people? In what ways are you silencing yourself? What parts of you have had to die off so that you can fit a mold that somebody else created for you? So in my purpose zone, right? So I'm doing right now, you see the screen. I'm enrolling in the Purpose Zone Academy right now. We talk about, showing up in the full power of who you are, getting clear about that, not falling into the mindset traps, really, really, really getting clear on self-awareness, right? Emotional intelligence, what it takes to really stand up unapologetically in this world as yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, even as someone who has made that commitment a long time ago, As someone who is pretty vocal about my flaws and all of that, as someone who recognizes the dopeness that is in me, right? That is a gift from God. Even I occasionally have to have a dream pusher push my dream, remind me of who it is that I am when I start to forget, when I start to allow the voices of others to infiltrate, right? So it's a journey for sure. It's a journey for sure. But I'm wondering, what would your life look like if you can be authentically, unapologetically you? Authentically, unapologetically you. If you owned your gifts. So we talked about that as well. We talked about owning your gifts. What does it look like to own your gifts and to steward your gifts and to take really good care of your gifts so that you can walk in your purpose, so that you can get rid of that gnawing in your belly that says to you, you should be doing more. You should be doing more. But here's the thing that I know, that when you are a false version of yourself, you attract lies. You can't attract the real by not being true to yourself. You cannot attract the real. Cannot attract the real. And the truer you become, the more likely the lies you've attracted to you will start to change. So here's the thing that I found to be a bit disheartening in some of the work that I do. And I work with some really super dope people. Y'all, I have 6 and 7 figure clients. 6 and 7 figure clients. I have 5-figure clients as well, who are amazing at what they do, who are still struggling with that piece of who am I and how do I show up in this world as my true self? But first off, how do I accept myself and all the pieces of me? How do I introduce myself to those pieces of myself that I've locked away? How do I allow him or her to come out and play and integrate so that I don't have these blind spots that throw me off course, right? I've talked about this before. Back in the olden days, back before they had all the big telescopes, they astronomers, that's it, astronomers. I was going to say astrologers, right? The ones that use the telescopes, right? So back in the day, they were looking at the planets, and because they were able to calculate how the planets moved, how they orbited around the sun, they could predict the patterns of orbit for each planet, right? They were able to predict the patterns. They knew when Saturn would be where Saturn was going to be. They knew when all of these other planets were going to be where they were supposed to be. They could predict it like clockwork. But then one of the planets, I want to say Uranus, and it might not be Uranus, but for this purpose, it's going to be Uranus. They could not predict the pattern of Uranus. They would think they have it, and then Uranus would do something weird. And it wasn't until they got clear and they got better telescopes and they were able to see further that they were able to discover another planet, Pluto, that was influencing Uranus's orbit. I want you guys to follow me. Remember, I'm a metaphors for life kind of girl. So Uranus is doing what Uranus does, and they weren't able to predict it because there was another planet that was influencing its movement. And until they had telescopes powerful enough, clear enough to discover Pluto, they were forever unable to predict the pattern of Uranus. Some of you have Plutos that have not been discovered, that are impacting the pattern of Uranus or your butt. Some of you have Plutos out there, and the things that are unknown about you that are impacting how you move. And so you can say, I know these things. I understand why I do these things. I know at this time I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to respond. But every so often, your life to you throws you a curveball. And oftentimes that curveball is connected to the Plutos in your life that you didn't even know were Plutos. You didn't even know what they were. You have a lot of undiscovered planets that are hiding, that are influencing your behavior. So one of the things that we're going to do in the Purpose Zone Academy, is we're going to get real clear on who we are. 3 months of dedicated time and energy to dismantling the lies about ourselves, identifying what it is that we were put here to do, having the support of dream pushers, that you don't have to fight the dream killers to share your dreams. 3 months. And there'll also be some additional access. But the main thing is, everyone who enters the Purpose Zone Academy, once they exit it, they will have a greater understanding of who they are. They will have a greater appreciation of the limits that they burst through. They will have an expanded comfort zone. They will show up with the tools to be more unapologetic about who they are and a life that they live and a life that they lead and how they were created to be. So I'm wondering, again, what would your life look like if you were 100% unapologetic about who it is you were created to be? Now, I'm not saying be unapologetic about your flaws and how you impact other people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying unapologetically accept the things that should change about you. I'm saying unapologetically accept yourself. Acknowledge those things that you need to change and how you need to evolve. But accept the fact that you are in a process. And sometimes in a season of recalibration, it might look a little different. Unapologetically be you. So I want to leave that with you tonight. I didn't plan to come here and talk before you long. But if you're interested in the Purpose Zone Academy, hit me up. If you want to catch up on the masterclass will be up for the next 4 days, I believe, until Wednesday. Access to the group will be available. So if you go to Did I put the link? Nope. Okay, they wouldn't let me do it. Okay. But if you want into the mastermind group, so that you can go in and catch up on the videos and the assignments and all of that, let me know. Drop a comment in the wherever you're listening at, and I'll send you the link. How about that? I'll send you the link so you can get in and catch up. Day 1 was be you, and the U was for unapologetically own it. The I can't remember what the I stood for, but I'll talk about the I and the L tomorrow. So with that being said, and I'll probably come on earlier tomorrow. I forgot it was this late, but I want to touch base with you guys and share that there's somebody out there in this world who is waiting for you to show up as the true you. There's so many of you who say to me, Rhonda, this is just so easy for you. And I say to you, no, It's not, and it hasn't always been as easy as it is. But I have to push past myself oftentimes to show up in ways that look easy to you all. And the reason it looks easy is because I own it. I own the gift. I own the gift. I recognize that when I show up in the gift's going to do what the gift's going to do. The gift's going to do what the gift's going to do. And there is somebody who might not even be watching this now, who might watch it later, who's going to get something from the thing that I said. And all I have to do is show up as me. All you have to do is show up as you. Stop making excuses as to how you are, your flaws, your faults, and start owning the gifts that it is that you've been blessed with, that you were birthed with, where he knows the plans he has for you. He knows the plans he has for you. We've all been gifted. All of us. Not just some of us. All of us. So go out and do that thing. All right, y'all. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. I woke up today. I thought today was Sunday. I got a bunch of stuff I need to do. I'm enrolling people, like I said, in the Purpose Zone Academy right now. If you know that it's time for you to stop sitting on the sidelines of your life, if you know that it's time for you to show up powerfully as who you are, if you know that it's time to get clear on what it is that you are meant to do, hit me up. Purpose Zone Academy. We will start on the first week of March. So you have time to get in now. I have limited spaces, so get in where you fit in. If you have any questions, hit me up. But with that being said, you guys enjoy your Saturday night, and happy Valentine's Day to y'all. All right, now, goodbye.